Welcome to the episode of Bleav in Falcons. I'm your host, Ovie Mughelli. We got Michael the Burner Turner, and we got from the Falcoholic, Kevin Knight. Yes, we are the trifecta of awesomeness here to talk about the dog days of summer where the Falcons aren't in training camp. They aren't in minicamp or OTAs. They are hopefully staying out of trouble and getting ready for a Super Bowl winning season, right, Mike? Because we're going to the Super Bowl. I mean, it's every year, Super Bowl bust. We're not going to do 6-9 or 9-6 or 8-8. All that is done. That was the previous career, a previous regime. Kevin Stefanski did not come to Atlanta to be a loser. He's going to be a winner, and we're going to win games, all of them. So, I mean, that's the hope. But Mike, man, what are you thinking? What are you feeling right now during the nice little break we had before things get started?
I feel good. I agree with Kevin Stefanski not come here to lose. I agree with that part. Now the Super Bowl this year and all that stuff. All right. Come on, we gotta see who's our quarterback first. Let's do that first. That's kind of like an important detail we missing out on right there. So, but other than that, yeah, it was good. It's good being in July after the 4th here. We getting closer and closer to this football season. Thankfully, we got the World Cup. Taking up some of our space, some of our time, letting this summer go by a little bit faster during these dog days. But yeah, not a lot of Falcon news. But Kevin got some important information for us as far as the signing of Kyle Pitts and what that contract really details.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. First of all, guys, appreciate it. It's been in the making for a bit, so I'm glad we were able to find a time that worked. And obviously, big fan. So personally, happy to get to talk to you guys.
Wait, time out. Big fan of who? Yeah. Ovie or Mike? You can't be both. Both.
I mean, to me, yeah, because I'm not, super old or anything, but like I got, my first, real exposure to the Falcons was the Vic era Falcons, and really, started paying attention more in that era. And then of course, Matt Ryan's drafting and all that was sort of when I really started following the team seriously. So, got really, I mean, I got all of you guys really best years with the team. So, it's been, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, just fantastic. And, it really, it was kind of like, I kind of took those years for granted now because what has it been? 8 years
Everyone
now since
did.
the playoffs?
Everyone was like, oh,
I just thought it was never going to end.
He won't win a Super Bowl. He's only having 13 seasons. Oh, Matt's the reason we're losing. All this hogwash.
I never said that. Yeah, that was not me. I was. Yeah,
your friend said that. Like no Matt Ryan disrespect to be had on this show. It
absolutely
kills me. People say, well, I think when me and Will started, because Will's also a Falcoholic guy. When we started, Matt was still playing. I've been doing this for like 5-6 years now, and so granted, Matt had level play had gone down from MVP Matt, but he's still better than the Desmond Ritters and the Marcus Mariotas that we went through after him when we could not wait to get him out. By we, like the part of the fan base that couldn't think correctly. And it just boggled my mind. I was like, why so much Matt Ryan hate? I remember he was on a somebody's podcast, and I think maybe Cam Newton or somebody was talking to him, asking like, do you think that, you weren't appreciated as much? And he stopped and he paused. And as Matt Ryan does, like Peyton Manning, he's so PC all the time because I know he wants to. You're dang right. He didn't respect me. Yeah, absolutely. Are you serious? But he had such a great, wonderful answer. I can't even, I'm not even gonna paraphrase it now, but it was a thoughtful Matt Ryan answer that still had respect and love for the city and the fans, even though they didn't appreciate him the way they should have. So yes, we do have to get a quarterback, Mike. You're right. We can't get too excited. But there is a certain level of excitement, I think, for our team, Kevin, and with you covering the Falcons a lot more than me and Mike even do. Love to hear your thoughts about what we're in store for.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a split between what I think fans think of this roster and what the NFL as a whole thinks. And part of that is just the NFL as a whole has, kind of stopped paying a lot of attention to Atlanta. although the team's still getting primetime games, so that is nice to see. I think this team has absolutely delivered good games in primetime for the last several years. So I'm glad to see that they haven't, reneged on giving this team some of those games. But, I feel like it feels in some ways like this season is being kind of looked at by the NFL as a whole as kind of like a transitional year for Stefanski. And it very well could end up being that, but the moves that they've made, I think, suggest to me that they think this is a division they can compete in. And we all know that that's the case, right? I mean, this division is not particularly good, right? That's the PC Matt Ryan answer for that one. But, I really don't think there's much separating any of these teams. And it still cracks me up that I Bleav the Panthers are still considered to be like last place in the division, according to all the FanDuel odds and stuff, which is, this is the team that won. I mean, tiebreakers, but, and I think that just goes to show like there really isn't, a huge anything separating this team from anyone else. And I think all you need to win this division is just to hit on one of these quarterbacks. That's the biggest thing. And maybe it is Penix. Maybe he's healthy and he's able to finally get in here with some better coaching. Let's be honest. I don't think Penix was getting the best tutorage under the previous regime. I think that Stefanski, that was one of the criticisms Browns fans had of him as well, was that this, he hasn't developed a quarterback, but I don't really think they gave him anyone to develop either. I mean, Baker was there, but Baker got hurt, and then the Browns management seemed to want to move on from him, which is very odd, but whatever. And then, I won't even talk about 2025. I've been watching Browns tape and I can't Bleav they traded their quarterback 4 weeks into the season. That felt like they were sabotaging Stefanski to me. I mean, it's it's 4 weeks in, you lose your first game by a 30-yard field goal that you miss. And then, you lose, you're 1-3, but that's far from dead, in the NFL. And that, I don't think Stefanski necessarily has a quarterback development problem. I think he has a quarterback acquisition problem, but I mean, how much was he involved in that to begin with? So, between, I think we know what Tua is, very inconsistent quarterback, but when Tua's playing well, I mean, we've seen he has an all-pro ceiling as a quarterback. And I think the flashes we've seen of Penix are good. So at this point, I think really the main thing is, I think the rest of this roster is fine, especially the offensive weapons, the top three of Bijan and Kyle Pitts now, for the foreseeable future, and Drake London now for the foreseeable future, right? Yeah, it's just it's a good trio, and I think the offensive line is good. Right tackle maybe a little bit of a question mark, but whatever. The defense I think could be good too. So really, it's just, do we have a quarterback to compete? And I'm kind of curious with you guys. I mean, do you have, at this point we haven't seen a whole lot, obviously, from Penix, but do you have an early favorite? Do you got any thoughts on who you think is going to come away with this thing by the time training camp's over?
No, I don't have an early favorite. I just want the guy to be healthy. We had last 2 seasons, we had a healthy quarterback, either with Kirk Cousins or Penix. So now we got another questionable guy. We're bringing another questionable guy health wise in to add to the mix, and it's just funny, man. But like you said, you talk about the roster. I don't know if inside of Atlanta we think our roster is better than what the outside perceives, because like you look on ESPN and everything, they got us like 29th.
I saw that. I saw that, Mike. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's great. 29th. Come on now.
29th.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I don't think quarterback weighs that much of weight to bring us down to 29. You know what I'm saying? So, because that's really the only questionable position we have. Everything else is pretty much sewn up. What you got? Ovie, what, linebacker? What?
I mean, Divine Diablo is going to help us with linebacker. You losing some of the guys that we've lost. Our defense was good and not good at the same time. They were amazing and vulnerable. It was crazy because
in the offense, we had no offense to help the defense.
True. But like, how do you lead the league in like sacks and still have like some of the most yards given up for any defense? Like, wait, how are both happening? How are we like a 5-sack game, a 6-sack game, and we're losing? It was. I mean, Jalen and James Pierce were ferocious. It was fun to watch, and we couldn't turn that production into wins. You're right. A lot of it was offense, but we had Bijan offense left and Bijan offense right, but the lack of consistency at quarterback, that
outside zone mostly.
Yeah.
75%. Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man, no.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, I think you're onto something though. It's like I think the roster is better than people think, particularly like the interior defensive line. I feel like that is the most unheralded interior in the NFL. But Zach Harrison was arguably the best guy they had, and he didn't even play the last 6-7 games of the season. Brandon Dolis was leading the NFC in sacks at one point.
Was he?
Yes,
was.
As from the interior, and obviously he gets hurt too. Lakeyo London, who was a guy that was coming off the practice squad at one point. He's been around for several years, but he had 5 sacks. 5 sacks, Lakeyo London, and they got him back for pennies. I can't believe nobody else was like, "Oh, this guy got 5 sacks. Oh, I'll give him a few million." Is like, nope. So, I think you got those 3 guys. They do lose David Onyemata, but I mean, I think the Falcons were reluctant to give him another contract. Mid-30s is guys. I get it. Teams don't want to give out the money anymore, but I think between Dorless and Zach Harrison and Lakeyo London and all those guys. I mean, I guess we swapped Rook for Mason Smith, which is very bizarre. But
very bizarre.
I don't get
guy.
That. Yeah, I don't really get that one.
African. But, come on, man, don't get rid of my guy.
Yeah. I mean, Mason Smith. It's funny because they were very similar prospects. I would say Mason Smith is more of like the traditional defensive like tackle build. Rook is more of this like this dude is just the largest man I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, I mean, both guys were kind of just raw like upside guys, and then after a couple of years you swap them. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I think that group is really good. I think Divine Diablo is really good, like you mentioned. I think James Pierce obviously had a great rookie season. Jalen Walker really good too. And they signed a lot of veterans in those rooms too. I know they were talking up Deshaun Hand as like the final boss at the defensive line, which I don't know exactly what that means, but it sounds good. So and I mean, I feel like the defense should be good. So we really I think Stefanski and Tommy Rees, who's going to be calling the plays, but he's basically a Stefanski understudy. I think this is a team that we could see, like, they're probably not going to over rely on the quarterback either. You got Bijan Robinson. Like, there's only like, you don't necessarily want to overcomplicate things. You just need to get the ball to Bijan and spread
it. Said that last year, Kevin. They said that last year. You don't need to over rely on the quarterback. But
it halfway worked. It halfway worked.
Serviceable. They knew that Bijan was the reason we win and we lost games. Bijan had a great game, we beat the Rams. Bijan has not even a bad game, a mediocre game, we lose. If Bijan is not going off, our offense is flatlining, and that's because we didn't have a quarterback that could manage some basic tasks. We were guys were playing injured, we were missing easy throws. It's not even like the big arm, the big throw. It was the easy throws. It was the flats. It was, the check downs. It was, just decision making. It was a lot of stuff that, as players, me and Mike are this is stuff that you should be able to do as a professional quarterback in the NFL. And again, I know that with Kirk Cousins and Penix, it came out that both were doing what most players do, pushing past injury and trying to play injured, but it was making it to where they were not getting the job done to the level where we could win more games than we lost, which is all we needed to do to win the division. And we couldn't do that this year or last year or the year before or the last year or the year before that or the last year. And I don't know, was it 6, 7, 8 years without a winning season?
8 without playoffs, and I think it's so
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's up there with some of the longest streaks in the NFL now, and you're absolutely right. Every year it's something a little bit different. This year it was like they lost 2 games because of kicking, at least, and it's like, every once in a while you're going to lose a game due to kicking, but that was a mess from the very beginning. And you mentioned it, like I felt like the quarterback, it just felt like the scheme wasn't married to their quarterbacks. Like I'm not sure, like I'm just not sure who. It felt like it was like Kirk Cousins' scheme still. And then, but like, I just don't get it. Like,
pistol. The pistol's great. I mean, the pistol is fantastic. If you're a pistol offense, that's just
right. And I get Penix wasn't comfortable under center, but my question was like, why didn't you get him comfortable? Like, you had all off season. Like, what do you think? The first thing they had Penix do, and Stefanski got there was like, hey, go call up Ryan Newsel, go take snaps under center, go figure it out. Okay, coach, sure. It's like, like that's not an excuse. Like this is a professional quarterback. Like I get he's not comfortable. It's very different when you can keep your eyes on the defense 24/7 when you're getting the snap. Like I get it. Like your play action out of the pistol is like, okay, but you under center is a whole different thing. I get it. These college quarterbacks, they're playing less and less under center, but this is the NFL. You got to run under center. Like it's there's just too many packages that you need to use that formation. So it just, I don't know. It goes into, I just feel like the whole thing was grossly mismanaged, and I didn't like their pressure, how they handled pressure. I didn't think there were enough easy answers for the quarterback too. And I mean, that was kind of Penix's biggest weakness, was the short throws. Just, he's got a cannon, but it's got to reel it in a little bit sometimes. And I just didn't like the way the offense was structured there. I didn't really like how they used the tight ends. The good news is Stefanski knows how to use the tight ends. That is going to be very different. And
that's why they pay Kyle Pitts. I got Kyle Pitts all that money.
Right. So Kyle Pitts, you go for that contract with Kyle Pitts because he's officially signed this week, and he's going to be a Falcon for a while. So is it a good move in your opinion, Kevin? Good contract, bad contract? Because we know we still got Bijan coming up too. Do we have room to sign him too as well?
They got more room now. By the way they structured it. So basically, it was announced as a 3-year deal, the quote unquote richest 3-year deal ever for a tight end, which never really paid too much attention to that language. But yes, it was I believe 3 years, $56 million, so $18 million per year, which is just a hair over what the franchise tag was this year. And I did a full episode on it, kind of looking at how it stacks up to other tight ends and how it stacks up to receivers as well, because I think that's more of the conversation. You're looking at who's catching the ball and what are they getting paid. Tight ends are much more affordable than wide receivers. So if you factor in the wide receivers, Kyle Pitts is getting paid about, 20. He's producing at about the 20th most expensive receiver level, and he's getting paid about 27th. So it's a good deal from that angle. But I feel like the way they structured it is very different than how they've structured contracts in Atlanta in the past. This is the Eagles cap guy now writing these contracts. And, this deal is very backloaded, very heavy.
What's the name? Is it Jeff from the Eagles?
I think it's Bryce.
Bryce?
Yeah, Bryce Johnston, I think is what it was. But yeah, I should look it up too, because I don't know it either. But I know that Ian Cunningham's obviously coming over, and he's the GM himself. He has experience with both the Bears and the Eagles in the past. But I think Bryce Johnston was the guy they hired as their new sort of salary cap guru. But yeah, basically the cap hits, the salary cap cost for this deal is very minimal for the 3 years of the contract. And the way they accomplish that is by adding fake years onto it called void years, where they spread out your bonuses over these fake years of the contract. And so the signing bonus of $15 million, instead of costing $5 million per year, costs like $2 million, and it spreads out over 4 more years. And they're mostly paying Kyle Pitts an option bonus, which, they activate the option on the year of that deal. And then that also gets spread out salary cap wise over the remainder of the contract. Now the player gets that up front. They get it, as soon as the option occurs. So I believe his, Pitt's option in 2027 is like $13 million. So that's basically like his salary is almost entirely option. But this is like the new thing that the Eagles and the Vikings are doing, which is, unlike base salary, which has to be paid out on the cap immediately. So all your base salary counts against the salary cap 100%. Option bonus basically functions like base salary in terms of the player gets it that year, but it counts against the cap over the length of the contract. And it's like different than signing bonus too, because it doesn't start counting until the year that you get there. So like this $13 million in 2027 only starts counting in 2027 and beyond. There's another bonus in 2028. It's I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, because they just can't give us a clean number anymore for contract standpoint. It's like no, we have to play all these games, but that's what teams are doing to try to gain any advantage they can, and that actually lowered his cap hit this year by like $13 million.
Well, so, good. I mean, we made a lot of changes. I was asking because I got one of the Falcons guys moved into the neighborhood, and I saw him and his family walking. And I was like, I know you. He's like, I know you. I was like, aren't you? He's like, aren't you? Like, hey, Falcons in the loaf. Let's go. But I was gonna go walk over to his house, knock on his door. I said, so about these numbers, how about you hire me for a third down fullback situation? No, but
Stefanski uses a fullback, kind of.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, what Tom Brady played till he was like 44. I'm 46. I'm 2 years out. I can still do it.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But with all this being said, Kevin, Mike, again, this is Bleav in Falcons brought to you by Fanduel. Some Fanduel odds that are out for the regular season wins. The over 7.5 wins is plus 105. And I don't know if that's a good deal or not. I feel like we're going to have our first winning season in a long time. But Kevin, talk to me. Mike, talk to me. Like, is this something that if you're a FanDuel fan, you should buy into?
Well, according to FanDuel, the under 8 wins, it looks like they sound like they predict us to struggle this year.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Now, why would they think we would struggle? Like, we have not done any type of track record.
No. But 8 wins, we've been hitting 8 wins for the past what?
That's right.
4 or 5
We've been
seasons.
hitting 8 wins with Kirk Cousins.
I know.
Now we have Tua and Penix, which are both question marks regarding their health and ability to execute. We haven't seen it consistently. So I hope they do it. I Bleav they could do it, but until you do it, most people, including FanDuel and those who are not going to be on our side.
You got to look at the schedule too. I think we got a pretty tough schedule this year.
I've heard that too.
Depends on, like, based on how we finished last year, and we come in like with a tough schedule, no quarterback set in place, starting off in Pittsburgh. I mean, those first 4 games are rough. So every week is tough, but starting off in Pittsburgh and then playing potential playoff teams right after that. We could be behind the 8 ball early. So but the good thing is that we finished with 3 straight games in the division, which is interesting. I never did that before. So that could bring us back into the if we fall behind, it brings us back into the playoff picture as far as winning the division. So the 7.5, and they think we're not going to make 8 wins this year. It was kind of a tough sign. Yeah.
Hey, if you think they're going to hit 8 wins, you get plus money on that. Which you haven't. Honestly, most years they're not giving you plus money on that. So yeah, if you think they're going to get to 8 wins again, you're getting plus money on it. So that's your chance, guys.
I just think with all the stuff that was going on the last couple of years, I mean, it was a disaster, front office wise, coaching wise. And for us to come in with a clean slate and they got us not getting back to 8 wins, I think 8 wins is easy. Like, if we got some consistent coaching and, just all around, just some consistency on either side of the ball, including special teams, we should be better than last year.
Yeah. I mean, Mike, we're bearing the lead. If we struggle with Tua or Penix, there's a quarterback in the building named Matt Ryan that can suit up at any time and make it happen. I'm just saying, they don't know who it is.
Pull a Phillip Rivers.
If Phillip Rivers could do it, I know Matty Ice can do it. I literally feel like if it came down to it, he can lead a winning drive. I just training camp. We watched him at OTAs. He's throwing the ball to Pitts, zipping the ball. Like, he still has it. He's got it.
Yeah. We need some kind of rule exception for like emergency 4th quarterbacks. If all 3 of your quarterbacks get hurt, which is never happened in a game. But if it does, and you've got a quarterback somewhere in the stadium, that guy can go put on a helmet and get out. So Matt Ryan just be like, all right, rips off the suit jacket. He's got 4
I was like, get the suit, take it off, get pads ready to go.
Leaving off the blank suite.
Yep.
I'll be right back, Mr. Bleav. Hold on 1 second. I have a game to win.
Hold on. Hold on, guys. He's like mid press conference. So hold on, I gotta go take care of this. Yeah.
I love it.
We'd all love to see that. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely wouldn't put it past him. He looks like he's in great shape still. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm curious what you got, like, because you guys play with Ryan. So, like, how exciting is it for you, like, to have him at the head of this organization?
I'm giddy. Like, I'm so excited. I can't be more excited. Went to a training camp and me and Mike took a picture of Matt. Still trying to get him on the podcast, Matt. Brian,
Let me know if you get that pulled off.
Every time we see him, he's the same guy. I had somebody ask me. People always ask me like, "Hey, Ovie, I want to learn about your Falcons experience." Okay, with Matt Ryan. I said, "Come on, you asked about me." How's Matt Ryan? But somebody asked me again today. I gave the same answer I always give. I was like, what you see is what you get. Like there is no, here's Matt Ryan on and here's how he is off. I mean, may not curse as much off the field, but like, he's a authentic, genuine guy who I think is the perfect fit for the Falcons organization. So, every time somebody asks me, I'm going to say this is the right move for the Falcons, for the franchise, the organization, the fans, the city. This is the best thing Arthur Blank could have done. And frankly, I Bleav it's the reason why Raheem and Terry are not here, because those last 4 games they won, Arthur Blank's given almost every coach at least 3 years. Those last 4 games and the momentum and the defense and the record breaker we had with our rookie, you would say, let's keep the band together and go one more time. But the urgency as Mr. Blank gets older, as the Falcons lose, or fail to have another winning season, the urgency was there, and the desire to bring in Matt Ryan was at the highest level. I don't think they could have brought Matt in, and Matt had the authority he has now with that other group. Raheem and Terry wouldn't have given Matt the ability to spread his wings, and it was time to bring Matt in. So I think that was a key reason that the on the bubble decision of do I keep, do I let go, went to let go and bring in Matt. But I think it was the right decision.
Yeah, I think so too. Matt's a true leader, and I think that's something that's desperately needed in the building. And I think the guys that's on the team right now will look up to Matt and respect Matt and respect his opinion. So I think that's another way to look at it as well, because Matt's been there. He's been to the top. We didn't succeed, but we got a lot of success under Matt Ryan. So he knows what it takes to win week in and week out, and that's what we need. We need some consistency, man. And we haven't had a winning season in so long, and it was time. And when me and Ovie do the Bleav and Falcons stuff, our fans were kind of like fed up. They was impatient. They wanted everybody to go. So on the Falconholic side, where were your
yes? Give us this, because we got to wrap up. So give us this, Kevin. What is the Falconholics fans talking about regarding the temperature of this team or of them for this team?
Yeah, I mean, personally, like I was very worried they were going to keep the previous staff, especially after that finish.
I kind of wanted them to.
Yeah. I mean, I'd heard some things about how things were going in the building that really scared me. The whole thing with the receivers coach getting fired like 3 games into the season. Weird. So very strange. And that to me was kind of the biggest red flag imaginable. And it ended up, I think that stuff, the fact that Blank kind of moved on so quickly. I mean, it was like Sunday and he's like, okay, we're done. Like, he didn't even think about it over the weekend. Yeah. And so to me, I think that kind of felt like the stuff that I heard maybe was like, it was rough behind the scenes and there was just a lot of dysfunction, but I was, eager to see a new direction. And I think a lot of people were like questioning who was really running the team, and I think with you bring in a totally new, fresh face in terms of, the management and Matt Ryan, and there's nobody you could bring in really. Maybe Julio would have it. Like, maybe that's the only other guy that's like, okay, fans would just trust implicitly, but I think Matt's got a little bit more like leadership experience and certainly being on the media side too. He's been sort of more into that management side of things, but I think it's good to get the fresh perspective, and I think fans are really excited to see what he can bring. I think he's not an insider in terms of he's been a personnel guy or a coach. He's more been from the players' side of things, and I think having that perspective at the highest level is something that a lot of teams don't necessarily have. And I'm curious. Matt Ryan obviously proceeded over by far the most successful decade plus of this team's history. And, he saw what it took to get there and to maintain it. I mean, the team outside of a few blips, from when he arrived, like it was a competitive team for like almost, 6, 7, 8 straight years. And I think Ryan kind of learned something from that. Like this is he's been around a lot of losing teams. He's been around a lot of winning teams and a team that really should have won a Super Bowl too. So I think he knows like what that looks like and what that feels like. And I hope that that's what he's going to bring. And I think fans are more like optimistic about the future of the team than the rest of the league is, and sort of the NFL media is. But, I think fans are also willing to accept a reset year because sometimes that's necessary.
I had a lot of people, Kevin, telling me, a lot of people, Mike, they're saying that this is going to be a bloodbath. I say a bloodbath. Like, no, this is like a reset year. The organization has got a lot of 1-year contracts. They could have picked anybody, and they picked Tua just to really, give Penix a chance to maybe win. I said, really? Like, they wanted 2 left-handed quarterbacks, but they could have like gone big. They didn't go big. They just wanted to get the cheapest quarterback possible because they just want to see what happens this year. Then they can get their guys in here. I was like, huh. So I've gotten kind of used to where this might just be not bad, but not good, to where we're just like, we don't care, but we're just trying to get through this, see what Penix has, see what whatever, and this is going to be a kind of a throwaway year, and we'll see what happens. I was like, I don't like going through the season thinking we're not going to win.
I don't like
I have fans that say, in order to keep your sanity, you better get ready. I'm like, wow, that's a dark outlook, but it might be true. Who knows? I don't think anybody goes into a season saying,
like we're gonna lose.
Maybe the Browns, maybe the Browns do, or like Lions back in the day, they did, but I just don't see us going into it like that.
I mean, not with a division where we can actually, when we look at the rosters, like we can actually win. That's the part. Now, if it was a different division where like it's some teams that's really like got their stamp on the division, maybe we'll look into like a quote unquote soft tank year, but it just looks too good to win this division to
not with Bijan. You're wasting Bijan's years. I'm like, why would you waste another year of Bijan Robinson? Why would you not have? Right now I feel like Saquon Barkley and Bijan, greatest tailbacks out there. Even Saquon says Bijan's just different. And we've yet to have that brother have a winning season. Like it's just crazy to be so good. And he's PC. He's like, hey, it's about the team and whatever I can do. But he goes home. He's like, if these freaking guys do one more gosh darn game, the kicker doing this, special teams doing that, I'm Bijan, gosh darn it. Like he kind of has those moments.
They call one more outside zone play. I'm gonna freak out.
If I want one more outside zone, Bijan got to have some days because he's human. And like Matt Ryan, very PC, would never say anything like, just me and Mike got a great picture we got to share with you guys that we had with him at training camp, not training camp, at OTAs, and just a solid dude like Matt. What you see is what you get. Cameras off. He's still just a good-natured dude that's a beast, but he's got to have some days where he's like, I've been here for some years. I've yet to sniff a winning season, and there's something wrong with that because I like Mike. Our first year, we went to play the Arizona Cardinals. We playoffs. First year Mike was here. Me, Matt, and Mike's first year playoffs because we're too good to not go to the playoffs. Our 13-3 season, we kind of expected that. We had Tony Gonzalez, Julio, Roddy, me, Mike. Like, we're too good to not win 13 games. Bijan's too good to have the record behind him that he's had, but it takes a team.
It does. One thing to close on with that is they're going to like run a much more diverse run game. That is definitely a staple of what Stefanski and Rees were doing in Cleveland. It's much more 50-50 gap and zone split. And I think just the impact of Bill Callahan and getting a guy like that in the building for the offensive line, and as good as their previous offensive line coach was, I think that was far from the issue here. But I do think giving Bijan the chance to just run more power stuff and diversifying that the way they attack in the run game, it's just going to help them a lot because you saw it. Teams would just sit on the outside zone against the Falcons because that's 70% of the time. That was what they were running, and they were really good at it, sure. But sooner or later, this is the NFL. The guys are too good to just run the same play. So I'm really excited to see what Bijan looks like running some power. I think that's going to lead to some more explosive runs for him. And we saw him crack that huge one finally. I know everyone was like, oh, Bijan's great, but can he hit the home run? Yes, that was never a question. Now, finally.
I was one of the ones that questioned that too. I was waiting.
The burner had questions. The burner had questions. Are you really fast? Are you Michael Turner?
Well, if anyone
fast?
can ask,
Come on,
it's
Bijan.
definitely you. So yeah. I mean, that was your specialty. So I get that angle.
They called you
Does he have the burner stamp of approval now for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He got it last year. He got it last
Okay,
year.
good.
I was wondering if Bijan could break the big one. He's like, fast. I'll show you fast. See me run.
I just loved on that run when he's just like every once in a while he just looks back. He's like, all right, just waiting for the guy to dive, and then he just kind of like skips a little, and then just keeps going. It's just hilarious. He makes it look so easy, man. It's not fair. So
fantastic. You know what else is easy, Kevin? Having you on as a guest. We appreciate you coming out and giving us 30 plus minutes of great information. Mike, anything to sign us off with?
No, man, just looking forward to the season. Looking forward to catching the Falconholic even more this year because I've been following you for a while now. But nice to see you and finally talk to you and have a conversation with you, see what's going on your side of things, and appreciate you coming on the show. And hopefully we can catch up during the season.
Absolutely, thanks, guys.
All right, good stuff. You guys, as always, rise up.
Rise up.